That's Richie Bradshaw of Locked On Sun Devils. The Big 12 has taken an insane step in recruiting for 2026, while other schools are like, oh, we're going to go out and get the best transfers in the world. The Big 12 is still recruiting high school kids from BYU to Arizona State to UCF to Texas Tech. Like, these schools are utilizing their resources to recruit the high school ranks. UCF just got one of the best quarterbacks in the class coming out of the state of Arkansas. Jake Fette to Arizona State. Look at Brock Harris to BYU. We are seeing this conference recruit at a level that it may have never recruited at before. It could be at the highest it's ever been. Arizona State squarely leading the pack there, according to On3. Before we get to the Sun Devils specifically, this just feels good for the entire conference to see the amount of talent that's coming into the league.
Yes. I love that Kansas, of all the programs in the Big 12, is at or like right near the top. They're ahead of ASU on like
Houston, Kansas places. Are both right there. Yeah.
Yep. And then Iowa State is not far behind. So I'm with you. I love the way that the Big 12 is culminating all their recruiting together right now. And it's not like they're just getting nobodies. Like, it's not like Kansas has 30 kids that are 3 stars or unranked. Like, they've got a couple 4 stars in there. They plucked a kid out of Manhattan, Kansas, which is right where Kansas State is. So, I mean, the recruiting is crazy right now across the conference, and that's something that the rest of the country doesn't want to see, Drake. They don't want to see the Big 12 thriving right now, and there's a lot of good teams in the Big 12. And I think that this conference is going to surprise some people next year because ASU will be back. I still think BYU is good. I still think Iowa State is good. I think Texas Tech is going to be huge this year. I still am big on Baylor. I like TCU. Kansas State's always there. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And the recruiting, it backs that up more.
Yeah, I think the problem you'll see in the Big 12, and this is not to knock on TCU fans, you could see the Horned Frogs finish 7th or 8th in the Big 12 next season. In a year, they could have finished 2nd or 3rd, I think, in the ACC. That gap is starting to grow now, where I think some of these mid-tier Big 12 teams could compete at a much higher level in the ACC because their product is going down. Our product is going up. Walk me through, and this kind of goes back to our conversation earlier about championship or bust for Arizona State moving forward, right? How you've been blessed in year 2 with the head coach who won you a Big 12 championship. Now it's kind of what you expect. It's a blessing and a curse. But the high school recruiting is backing up longevity in the win column for Kenny Dillingham and company. What makes Arizona State number 1, according to On3, in the Big 12 in the class of 2026?
I think right now it's the continuity of the staff. It's the fact that Kenny Dillingham is still there, and he just signed an extension. Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, is still there and signed an extension. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator, is still there and signed an extension. Now, Arroyo is already getting a lot of buzz to be a head coach next year, and he was already a head coach previously at UNLV, so it's easy to connect those dots. But as of now, you've got all of that's sticking together. You've got the assistant coaches that are still there. So AJ Cooper is still there. Brian Carrington is still there. Sean Aguano is still there. Hines Ward is still there. Like, you've got good assistant coaches, and you got some high profile assistant coaches that are there as well. So you look at all that continuity that's coming together, and the way that these guys have been able to build each other up and create the brotherhood and everything like that. It's just a place that these kids clearly want to be right now. And the kids that have transferred either were never going to see the field, unfortunately, or, maybe they just feel like they belong somewhere else because the rest of the guys that are here, they are big fans of what's going on right now. Like, it's really fun and crazy to see everything that's going through this program right now.
Has Arizona State, to your knowledge, ever recruited at this level, at least in the modern era or even the last 10, 15 years?
Not to this level. They've brought in some high-profile kids. Jaden Daniels was a super high 4-star, 5-star, depending on where you looked, that they got in the Herm Edwards era. Herm brought in tons of really good 4-star kids that stuck around for a little bit. Todd Graham 10 years ago was recruiting some really good kids. Nikhil Harry was a local kid who decided to stay. He was one of the 10 highest rated recruits. Like, we have seen good recruiting from ASU, but the steady improvement that we're seeing from Kenny Dillingham is what's blowing me away right now. He gets to this program in 2023 in December. There was only 4 commits at the time. 3 of them left. CJ Fette, the defensive tackle, is the lone one who stayed. He's on his way to the NFL at this point. They're able to rebuild this class quickly. He somehow convinces Chayton Rashada to come down for a year. The next year, kills it in the transfer portal. Third year, 2025, they are able to pull in a pretty darn good freshman class. And now 2026, they're trending in a great direction. So I can't remember the last time that ASU has just been trending so high up with the recruiting. They've had good classes. They have not had the trajectory. That's your key word here. The trajectory they have right now.
Yeah, Richie, they're not recruiting very well in 2025 in the transfer portal for next football season. I made the case this week that's not a bad thing for a team like Arizona State, who has a lot of guys returning.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you agree there that a transfer portal ranking for Arizona State right now doesn't matter that much?
No, not at all. And I mean, Kenny Dillingham had come out and said at the end of the season, because his first 2 seasons, 23 and 24, they did attack the transfer portal. They added almost 50 kids in those 2 years. But he comes out this year and he's like, yeah, we actually have a really good team. Like, we're only going to add maybe 8 or 9 kids. And they still ended up in double digits. But even Kenny at the end of the season was like, we really don't got to do much. Like, we've got a great core here. And lo and behold, no one's leaving. So we've got the group of guys that we were counting on to return are returning. Like, you are returning the vast majority of your 2 deep depth chart, which is just unheard of.
Coming up, let's go in depth into another couple of teams from a new time zone. That was kind of a new time zone in the Big 12. We'll talk about the way Arizona as a state does things. But Washington State, Oregon State. Should the Big 12 finally take a look? This is the Locked On Big 12, Locked On Sun Devils crossover. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. The reason it's brought to you by Monarch Money is I am 24 years old. I don't know how to do the money thing. I just look at my bank account. Nope, it's gone. Where did it go? Probably to food delivery. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility to take control of your finances. And there's accountability in there, too. For me, as I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's what I've been spending so much money on, and it's the reason I have no money. Accounts, investments, spending, all in one place. It's a complete financial command center. Stop managing your money. Start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized how much I was spending on random stuff, and now I budget so much smarter, and you can also share your managing with your partner. It's smoother than ever. Set goals, stay on the same page. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year with Monarch Money.